Hi guys, how are you? It is I, Becca Lori Hector, here in my backyard for another Becca's Backyard Live. I am indeed. Just got back from the supermarket. Hey Abby. And I just got, so we went into the supermarket, and of course it's like, I don't know, it feels 10 times more exhausting to me than it did before. Hey Joe. And, but, it was like oddly quiet is what I want to say. Kind of the way I always dream that it's going to be when I go to the supermarket at odd times. It was that kind of quiet, and everybody's like afraid to look at each other in the eye, and everybody's afraid to kind of do their normal waving and gesturing. That I don't know. I try to wonder, like, what do you guys think, or what do you people, not you guys, sorry, what do you guys think about the shelves being empty, and what do these people think is going to happen, that they all of a sudden, and so then that of course kicks off my anxiety. Do they know something I don't know, and all of that stuff. But I'm trying to just not get into it, so I'm trying to like free myself of the supermarket juju. I wash my hands a bunch of times, put the groceries away, and I'm just sort of settling back down now. We have the dogs out, so everybody's kind of floating about. You might see them here and there, the dogs, just taking in some sunshine, because it is a beautiful day here in Colorado. A little chilly when the wind blows, but still just gorgeous sunshine. I mean, it's beautiful. And so why not share it with you guys, right? Because originally this week, so I was thinking, right, I've been kind of back and forth about what to be doing with the live stream, what to use it for. That I want that like awesome support group feeling to come with the live stream, but I'm trying to figure out kind of how to make that happen, and what stuff you guys want to see, and what stuff the rest of the world wants to see too, I guess. Because some things get more views than others, and it's still mostly just us guys that are doing it live, and there's a handful of people that are catching up after, and that's cool, but it's not as many as Newsstand. Oh, this is Fiona. Now you can see Fiona behind me. Shopping is always hard, and now it's a different kind of hard. You're absolutely correct, and I just couldn't, right, like I can't describe it exactly, the feeling in the air and the vibe and whatever. But I had a great old man talk to me, and I love old people. That's my secret love. I love old people, and I can't wait to get old. I am so looking forward to being elderly. I can't even tell you. I love old people. Anyway, so he had a lovely little conversation with him, and it was nice. It was like the one piece of normal that happened the entire time we were in the supermarket. So I'm back from there, right? And yeah, I know the anxiety is like ridiculous, right, Joe? So I've been really kind of thinking about, what do I do? What do I use this channel for? And now it's this like weird time for us. Although the world is so different. Thinking about it twofold. I guess I want to kind of mix it up with stuff that you guys find entertaining and fun, and then make sure that we're not having so much fun that we forget about the reason that I'm doing this and you guys are interested, because we're all on this journey that we want to take, and we're all headed in different places, but we kind of will all be facing the same challenges in our own way. And so to be able to share that with each other is extremely important to me. And just to know that there are people out there that may benefit from, there are like-minded folk out there. And so I guess that's why I'm doing it too, because I want to connect with my like-minded people. And so I think that's sort of where I'm at with this. So I kind of want to go bounce back and forth from the serious stuff to like the fun stuff and good things. So in thinking about this week coming up, and thinking about what to do with you guys, where I wanted to share what information and what we were going to get out of this and all of that. So I went, of course, back to the whole, like, let me Google some fun ideas for your live stream. And so I did that, and I found a couple of good ideas. And so one of them that I really liked was like a behind the scenes tour concept. And so I thought it would be really fun for you guys if I did like a behind the scenes tour of my office, because if you watch Newsstand regularly, you get to see my little section of the office, but you have no idea what's going on in the rest of the room. And I have a lot of trinkets and stuff behind me that I'd like to share with you guys. So I thought that would be really fun. But when I woke up today, the weather was just so stellar. I was like, this is too stellar to sit inside and do a tour of my office. So I'm saving that idea for the next bad weather day we have. And I will, the next bad weather day that I have here in Colorado on a Tuesday, we'll do the behind the scenes tour. Nothing's going to change down there in that time. So that's that. So instead, for lack of a better word, like questions that were either more deep, they had more meat to them or something, rather than, you know, what's your middle name and all of that fun jazz. It was fun to do that for a first one because I didn't really know what I was doing and all that stuff, and you guys liked it. So I thought, let me find some like weird and odd, more meditating. Oh, old lady antics. Okay, you guys, I have dreams about old lady antics. I can't wait to be old lady and have antics because I'm a young lady now, or a middle-aged lady, and I have antics now. My old lady antics are going to be so off the charts. I can't even wait. You guys will have to all get together and do old lady stuff. But anyway, I digress. So let me take us back to the questions. So I thought that's what I would do. I thought maybe I could, I went and I looked for some deeper questions, and I found some, and I thought we'd tackle some of those today, and we'll see how far we get, and whatever I don't finish, we'll do another time. But I figured let's find some like meaty questions, some real deal questions to answer. So I did. So I found ones on the interwebs. And the interwebs, they say 25 questions to get to know someone deeply, whatever that means. And I don't know for whom it is meant. I don't know if it's for dating couples or if it's for, I don't know, jobs. I don't know. But I like the questions. They were more engaging to me, these questions. So we'll tackle these questions. I'm sitting on a rock, if you notice. I don't know if you can really tell. So last week I was sitting on the floor, but you guys could only see like the bottom of the trees. So this week I'm getting myself up a little higher and I'm sitting on a rock, but it leans backwards. So I'm like, oh, don't let me fall. Okay, so here we go. Let's do some of those questions. Where did they just go? I just had them up. Oh my goodness. Here we go. Okay. So 25 questions to get to know someone deeply. We'll start. Okay. What are you happy to see you as always? Happy. Everybody say hi to Nancy. What was I say? Oh, proud of, right. So that's the first question. What am I most proud of? What a better question than what is my middle name? Most proud of. I think the thing I am most proud of is actually homeownership. I am so grateful beyond measure, so appreciative, and so incredibly proud that I own a home. I never thought that'd be something that I'd ever have. It was something that was on my bucket list for a really long time. And it's not something that I thought would necessarily happen for me. But yeah, it did. And that's part of the goal setting, right? It was part of my goal setting, part of creating the life I don't need a vacation from, that whole jazz, is how I ended up being a homeowner. And it was not easy to get here. There was a lot of stuff going on, but we did it, and I am so proud. It is something that I thought for sure in my life. So I am really proud. If you notice anything, by the way, guys, about the signal, if the signal is really weak and crappy like it was last week, Joe, I'm sorry. But I live up in the mountains again, and so when our wind blows, it isn't just a light breeze, it's like a big deal wind that comes through. And then also now everybody's home, so everybody's on the internet with me in this little tiny mountain town. And so if the signal goes in and out, I apologize, you guys. There's not much I can do about it. I figure a little of me is better than none of me, so we'll see how it goes. So yes, but back to the questions. So question number 2, here it is. Question number 2, what are you the most ashamed of? Wow. That's interesting, because how hard to share the thing that you're most ashamed of with occasions. A lot of them were related to the fact that I was not diagnosed with autism. Some of them, though, happened afterwards. A lot of them had to do with emotional regulation and meltdowns and all of that. But if you ever notice that when you're really kind of in a battle with somebody and you're just kind of moments. And so I definitely am somebody who has learned over the course of my life how to weaponize words, which sounds terrible, but I definitely have learned that skill set, and I can use words as a weapon, and on more than one occasion I definitely did with my mom. And I'm really ashamed of that, and I think it's compounded by the fact that she's gone now, and I can't really undo what I did. I can't really give her lots and lots of good experiences with me to make up for all the times I was a really, really shitty daughter. and that I really spoke to her terribly. And so that's where I sit with that. I'll probably be ashamed of that for the rest of my life. And here's Gussie visiting. That's a Gussie tale. So yeah, let me, here, Gussie. Oh, get that. Let's see. Question number 3, hopefully more upbeat than that. If you could go back and change one decision in your life, what would it be? Oof. I don't know. See, like, I sit so on the fence about questions like that, because really, if I change that one thing, sorry for the movement and everything, I just got uncomfortable. But I think that if I went back and I changed a whole bunch of stuff like that, my life wouldn't have meandered down this path, and I wouldn't end up here living in the house of my dreams where I want to be living and being a homeowner. So how do you say that you would go back and change something like that? So I feel like it would have to be like a fairly, there's not even tattoos that I would get rid of, because they're all there for a purpose. Geez. No. I really don't have any, you guys. I think it would really mess with it would really be out of alignment with who I am and how I'm living my life to think that there's something that I could go back and make a different decision about. Yeah, I don't think so, because I wouldn't want anything about where I am right now to change. So that's my answer. All right. What is your biggest dream in life? Well, I had a lot of them. And what's really freaky is that through doing all of this self-defined living and creating a life I don't need a vacation from, and just walking this personal development path and working towards my personal goals and addressing kind of my life as a whole piece, not just one piece at a time, it's sort of like I managed to get to a lot of the things that I had. And then I thought, I would love to meet someone that I can fall in love with and get married to, but, I've always been a difficult person to be with. And so I didn't think that was really going to happen. And so a lot of those things have happened, by setting up kind of the life that I wanted to live and creating those nuances and the way that I was choosing things in my life and creating habits. So, yeah, I mean, yeah. So let's see, now some goals. I mean, my goals now are really kind of nutsy. They're a little bit crazy. I really want to push this personal development piece really hard for adults on the spectrum. And my goal in my head, and I can't believe I'm going to say this out loud and then it will be on tape and outside for the world, but I would love nothing more than to be the autistic Brene Brown, to be the autistic Jen Sincero, and all of these really big personal development guru people that I really look up to, that are changing people. I just know that that's my goal, and I know that I'll get there if I keep taking steps towards it. If the decisions and the choices that I'm making are always in that direction, and that I don't let the world kind of pull me off track and all of that kind of stuff, because that's when we don't end up meeting our goals, is when we let the outside world in too much. And so I hope you guys won't do that. And I'm not going to let people do that. But that is I'm sharing it out to the universe. I am manifesting it with all of my being and my energy, to be that for you guys, to let everybody know that there is quality of life possible for autistic adults. And it doesn't necessarily look like what everyone else wants it to look like. But I digress again. I digress all over the place, I guess, today. It's my word of the day. If I say digress one more time, scream real loud. For those of you who watched Pee Wee Herman. Okay. Here we go. What difference would it make in your life if you felt completely safe, accepted, and loved? Wow, you guys. How loaded is that? Because when we talk about acceptance and love and being just loved for exactly who we are, I mean, we're talking about, for us autistics, we're talking about unmasking, right? And being accepted for our unmasked versions of ourselves. And if that's not the biggest dream, and that wouldn't make the biggest difference to autistic adults, I don't know what would. It would just be those things. But it would make a huge difference. It would mean that instead of my behaviors being blamed on my autism and my disability and my difference, maybe, just maybe, people would start to realize that there were actions preempting those behaviors, right? it would make a huge difference for that to be. I mean, I'm certainly accepted and loved for who I am in my little tiny circle of me, Antonio, my pets, and like, you know, a handful of other people. But when we talk about broad acceptance, to be walking around and not, you know, tell people I'm autistic and have them question, or tell people I'm autistic and have them, you know, treat me differently. What a difference that would make for us, for me, for all of us, if that was to happen. Huge, you guys. All right, maybe we'll do like 2 more questions and then I'll have to wrap it up, because I think people don't pay attention on videos past 20 minutes. If it's not interesting, how do you know? So why waste our time? We don't waste spoons anymore. Okay. Do you think your parents did a good job raising you while you were growing up? Why or why not? Again, a loaded question. Do I think they did a good job raising me? I think in my life, maybe I reminded him too much of himself. I don't know, but he definitely doesn't get to fall into the good parenting category. My mom, on the other hand, I think was a great parent for me growing up, in that she was the best that she could be, right? Because we were missing this large chunk of information in my childhood. And so I say yes. I say if we had had that piece of information, she would have incorporated it and run with it. And so I think my mother did a fantastic job of raising me as a single parent, and not so much on the other side. So yeah. All right, let me catch up in chat. Let's see. Abby says, I sincerely appreciate you sharing, and not to be too weird, even though I am, what you just said, quality of life for us seems impossible to me a lot of times. And then Nancy says, it would be amazing to know that I was accepted for who I am and didn't feel like I had to change. Yes, you guys. I mean, that's exactly what I want, right? That's what I'm looking for. And how do I create that? I don't know, but I'm just like putting it out there to the world, to you guys, and then hoping that some of you will cling on to the idea and start spreading it out to other people, share the stuff that I'm sharing with you guys, and pass it along, man, because it is quality of life. That's the chase, right? That's the thriving. That's not surviving. That's the thriving part of life. And we are being cut out of the thriving part. We're being told either we can't thrive, or the things that we want that will make us feel like we're thriving are wrong or bad. And so, yeah, that's what I'm in search of. That's what I'm chasing, is sharing that personal development piece with you guys and chasing the quality of life for autistic adults. Okay, one more question, and then I will wrap it up. Wind in my face, sorry. Okay, what's one thing that you is that I'm really actually an extremely tough human being. I think that I present to a lot of people as being kind of soft, and I'm always talking about all of these woo-woo ideas and these woo-woo concepts, and I'm, you know, yay, I live in Colorado up in the mountains all by myself and all of that stuff. But I wasn't born that way, you know. I was raised in a really big city. I was raised in the city, and that came along with the bullying, gave me a really, really, really thick skin. And so a lot of times people see me kind of opting out of confrontations and kind of taking the nice guy path with a lot of things. And that's because I've learned the hard way how to choose the things that are worth fighting for. And that I don't fight for everything anymore. I don't waste my spoons fighting for everything. I pick and choose where I'm going to wear that tough skin. And most of you have never seen it, because most of the time I'm wearing it in boardrooms and in meetings where I'm fighting for our rights and our equity and our freedom and our ability to live and breathe and be and have a quality of life. So that's where I'm using that thick skin, and you guys aren't seeing it out here. So I think it's the one thing that people don't really know about me, and that they also underestimate about me, because I am I'm short in stature. I'm not a very large person. I'm not skinny toothpicky, but I'm not like a large person. And so when people get to experience my tough side, they're often kind of shocked that it is there and that it can be like that. And so yeah, that's the thing that most thing that people don't really know about me, I guess, or they don't experience with me very often. these days at least. Oh, thank you, Abby. I hope I'm filling a big need. And I've been talking about it for a while, but folks aren't as receptive. There's only like a small handful of us that are receptive right now. And so maybe I'm ahead of my time. Maybe I'm beating the curve. Or maybe it's just meant for us, a little small group of people that are facing the person. And they can't go anywhere because there's events. Anyway, so that's my last question for this week. I'm going to save this one because I really like these questions. I don't know about you guys, but these are much better than the ones that I tried to do last time. They're much more interesting. So I'm going to come back to them. I'll come back to them, maybe not next week, week after. This week coming up. Okay, so of course on Fridays I do Neurodiversity Newsstand, which is the Neurodiversity News in a Nutshell wrap up. And you can catch that on Friday afternoons if you subscribe to the channel. I will, of course, be live next Tuesday again at 2:20 p.m. Mountain Standard Time. But I have a good announcement, an exciting announcement, a woo announcement for me, because I tackled something I've never done before. So I had talked to you guys a little bit about a webinar and doing courses and things like that, but I hadn't yet purchased the program and I hadn't yet decided how I would present it. And everybody knows it's nothing until you do it. Well, guess what? I did it. I did it, you guys. On April 18th at 4 p.m. Mountain Standard Time, I am going to be doing a live webinar presentation of my Self-Divine Living keynote that I was going to be giving around the spring. And now you guys can see it for only $35. And there's going to be a live Q&A following it. So if you have questions for me, you can ask me right there. Then after the fact, I'm sure I'll end up, making it available to people to purchase. But for this time, and it's going to be the only time that you're going to get a chance to participate in the live Q&A. And so I hope you guys will either head over to my Facebook and look for the link, or shortly this afternoon, tomorrow I'll have it up on the website. I've shared it on my social media, so wherever you follow me, you will see the link. I will go ahead and link it at the bottom of this video as well, where you can go ahead and register. Again, that's going to be April 18th. At 4 p.m. Mountain Standard Time. It's going from 4 p.m. to 5:30 p.m., so an hour and a half. And I'm going to teach you how I created a life that I don't need a vacation from, and how you too can begin that process, and what it can mean for you. So I hope you guys will take the opportunity and register, because not only that, I rarely travel internationally, and I know some of you guys are over in Europe and such, and of course all of us are quarantined. So what else do you have to do? No excuses. Head over to my tiny URL .com/self-defined. That is the website where you can register, or you can look for it on my social media. And again, it will be up on the website tomorrow. To see you guys on Friday for Neurodiversity Newsstand. If not, I will see you next Tuesday right here live for Becca's Backyard Live at 2:20 p.m. Mountain Standard Time. I'm Becca Lori Hector, and I am out of here. Alrighty.